News team, assemble! Hey,
Whoa!
here he is, man, in the flesh,
Just flew
coming
in.
to you live.
Yes, sir. How are you doing, Jarad?
Man, the Cool FM news team. How are you, sir?
I'm
Welcome
pretty
to the
good.
On the Field with Jarad and Jon, coming to you live from the Cool FM studios. Got a lot to talk about on our show this morning. Some coaching changes in the NFL, some coaching changes locally here in Cochise County we'll briefly mention. And then we'll get into some wrestling because we're going to be down the road here in a few hours, heading up to Tucson, Jon. And so please do go live with us. Again, be sure to tune in if you want to watch some championship round wrestling. We're going to be up there by 4 o'clock just in case they start them around that time. They're at the Diego Gadea South Point Invitational at South Point High School today, and they were there yesterday. So I've got some updates live from the coaches that I'd like to share real quick before we get started talking about football and all that kind of stuff. So Justin Alma is our 113 that is wrestling for us at the Invitational, and he is currently in the consolation bracket. He went through 2 rounds in the championship round and then lost to a kid from Mason Mountain View and then ended up beating 2 kids. So he is going to be in what they call the blood round this morning.
Blood round.
So the blood round is where you're either going to be continuing to go for 5th or 6th or 3rd or 4th, or you're basically out of the tournament.
Right.
So
you're playing for your life there.
Pretty much, yeah. 126. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Adrian Vargas at 120. He is going to be fighting for another. He's in the blood rounds this morning. He just beat, late last night, he beat a kid from Thatcher.
Ooh.
And, that's a solid wrestling program. So
those exterior, the further out, man, those kids are tough. I swear they all have day jobs outside of school, and
you got nothing but farmland at Thatcher.
Yeah.
So those guys are just
riding donkeys.
They're just ranchers.
Yep. Dude, those kids are so tough.
Brock Santa Maria, currently 13-0
All right.
in the regular season, is in the championship round. He's in the quarterfinal last night and won by decision against Sholo, wrestler from Sholo, Ben Frown, who was 38-8.
Jeez.
And he beat him 13-0. So Brock is solid and looking probably going to be in the championship round. He is wrestling the number 1 seed.
Now, what's the weight class for him?
He is 126.
126, yeah. He's a skinny young man, but like muscle and bone.
Oh, he's just solid.
There's nothing.
There's hardly any body fat on that kid.
I've seen him practice a couple times, and he's very, very technically sound. A lot of fun to watch. I highly recommend it. If you want to go watch some wrestling today, come out for sure. We're going to be there, like you were saying. I mean, that's where wrestling is. You should go.
South Point Invitational is going to be live tonight. So Austin Engel is fighting back through the consolation rounds. Looks like he's going to be going for 3rd or 4th based on what he does this morning. Sean Brown is currently in the championship rounds, so he's good to go. He's in the quarters, so he's probably going to be looking at a championship chance as well. Brody Clausen, we got him listed here as David. He is 35-6 currently at 150. The real tall, lanky kid.
Oh yeah.
And I told you he was at leg riding.
Yes.
Does a great job of leg riding. He's a wonderful.
How does he get that low? He's a giant, and he's
super flexible.
Yeah, flexibility.
So he did have some tough rounds yesterday, but he had some guys that were just. I mean that's solid. That 150 weight class, from what I've heard, is just loaded this year.
Yeah.
Up at the South Point tournament, so we'll see when we get in there. He's fighting back through to try and get to the 3rd and 4th place medal rounds. Okay. Kai is currently going for a championship, going for 1 and 2. So if he wins this morning, he'll be in the championship, and he'll be able to rest pretty much the whole day until they start championships. Hudson Haymore is going to be fighting for championship this morning, so he's right there in the thick of things. He made it through the quarterfinals. He's in the semis. His cousin Hastings is in the consolation bracket by fighting back hard. He's won 2 matches by, one was decision, 17-15.
Jeez.
Yeah. No, wait, it gets better. Consolation round number 3, he wrestles a kid from Cesar Chavez out of high school out of Phoenix, inner city. The kid was 8-6, but Hastings won by decision 20-17.
Wow.
Yeah,
close.
lots of points flying around in there.
Yeah, that must have been a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, so big Trent Williams at 215.
He's a Hulk.
Is consolation rounds, but he has some I've heard they're just solid as rocks in this group. He beat the first kid from Gila Ridge, and then ended up going to face the kid from Santa Cruz Valley, which is a much smaller school, but very well known for their wrestling program up there in Eloy. And this kid was 32-0. And Trenton lost.
That was the one.
Trenton won by fall, or Trenton lost by fall, but then he won by fall in the next round, and he is also back into the consolation 3, so he'll be going probably for 3rd and 4th in his bracket. And I'm not sure about Jaden Ward. Jaden looks like he's going to have a chance to maybe get into 5th and 6th.
Okay.
So a lot of our guys are going to be looking to get medals, and a few of our guys will be doing championships. And also on the girls division, we have Kelty Canaston.
Yep.
She is in the championship round, getting ready to wrestle right now. And Yamali, sorry about if I remember your last name, I'll correct it when we go live this afternoon. But Kelty and Yamali are going to be in it for the championship, so they're going to be going either, if they lose right now, they'll have to fight through a couple rounds to get to the 2nd and 3rd round medal. So we'll see. If we get any more updates as we have the show,
Yeah,
I'll get them in there. So man, our wrestling program is just hitting on all cylinders right now. They're hitting at the right time, and they're starting to climb. Just like our football team was this year, was starting to get solid at the end of the season and get all those wins they needed to get that high seed, and everything's just clicking right now for that program. It's so exciting.
There's a lot of growth to be had from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. So we're seeing like we saw Buena in their very first football games, that they kept getting better and better, and then by the end of the season they were running
70 in the first game.
Yeah, and they started running the ball better and passing the ball better, and then by the end of the season, they make their playoffs and they make that run, and it was incredible. But they were a far better team. If they played themselves at the beginning of the season, they would have smoked them. And that's also what you probably say about the wrestlers. The wrestlers this season have gotten better as the years gone along. Like, I didn't think Brock could get much better, but a lot of coaching, a lot of wrestling. Trenton Williams, but Ward, Jaden Ward. He is so much better than he was. He was telling us how he had done jiu-jitsu in the years prior. And as he's going, he's like a sophomore. Like that kid is really young, and he's wrestling 285.
About 245.
245, but he's in that 285 weight class. And you see him getting faster. And that for him, I think that was his thing, because he's incredibly strong and he's technically proficient, but getting in and doing those dives, those like going and grabbing a leg and making those shots, like that was something.
His shots are very explosive.
They're much better than they were at the beginning of the season. The only time I saw him wrestle better than he did at the end of the season was when that kid accidentally popped him in the face and he got angry in the first round, and he just went in and bear hugged the kid. Yeah, hulked him. Just lifted him off the ground and planted him in the ground. I was like, oh, that kid's not going to get up. And he didn't. Like, he just pinned him right there.
Yeah.
That was such a fun match to watch. But yeah, each one of those kids are getting better. Kelty's getting better. Imagine a guy that's going to be wrestling probably for the state championship.
Again.
Getting better.
Again, because he's been there twice for Tombstone.
So we're seeing guys, the coach. So that is hats off to the coaching staff.
Absolutely.
And we can also say that about the basketball players. So last night, I covered Benson versus Chandler Prep.
Okay.
And yeah, oh man, those girls. So Benson is a team kind of like Tombstone. They're very good at the getting the fast breaks. It's really hard for them to score.
Oh,
Every morning,
seems
every
like
time.
every time we're here on the show.
See if we
Goodness.
can get the mic on that. Yeah,
It's
there he
always
goes.
First responders gotta go get that job done. Whatever you gotta do, guys.
Honk for us. Thank you. Saving. Oh gosh, I hope someone's house isn't on fire this early in the morning.
There's been a lot of craziness. I saw a fire last night. Someone was covering over in the apartment complex near Lensler and Busby.
It's always when it's cold, man. People close the windows.
Heaters are not acting right, and they start acting up.
Cat tips it over, or someone's cooking something in the kitchen and it lights up.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, this is the time of year. God bless our first responders because they're doing the right thing for us. Okay, so the Kaylee Taylor from Benson she was at 999 points, and I got to cover her 1,000th point, and we've got it on YouTube already. I'm going to upload it to Facebook here pretty soon. Young lady, she's like 5'10". She is an incredible power forward. She looks like a power forward. She kind of plays center, but rebounder, but she's leading the team in steals.
Everything.
Yeah,
basically.
just every single thing. And, it is two-way basketball, but there's a lot of talent out there. There's talent on the other team coming down from Chandler, even though they're, two-way, not a big school out of Chandler, just still super talented. So we really thought that was very cool. Oh, we got a message from Logan. He committed. Oh my gosh. His signing day is next Saturday at Hampton Field at 5. We will definitely be there,
you go.
For that. Oh man, I
saw this. He had made a post about that on Facebook about if you're interested in one of when you get one of those interested in things.
Yeah.
And I got one of those last week from Logan's page. So Logan's going to be at Keith Hampton Field. They're going to have some tables set up out there. Probably Coach Hampton will probably hook it up with some pizzas or whatever. They're going to have a good time and enjoy an exciting time for Logan Seeley. Such a hard-working young man. And excited to hear about where you're going to land. I can't wait to see the announcement. I'll be on my way back from Tucson, but I'll be watching it live that evening, and I just can't wait to see this young man play at the next level.
Oh, yeah.
He might be on ESPN. You never know. Doing some craziness in his kick returns. That guy is phenomenal when it comes to
50 yards per kick return. I don't think
put some numbers up like you wouldn't believe on the special teams.
Can you imagine?
Incredible kid.
Taking half the field
and he
away.
Works with Cool FM.
Yeah, and he comes and does audio with us. He broadcasts with us. He does video. He's kind of like an all-purpose kid.
Might be getting into that kind of work. So when you go to your work on your major, Logan.
Yeah, remember into that broadcasting stuff.
Anyway.
He's a super smart kid. Also, the quarterback from Buena. I think those were our two smartest kids that we've had. Also, actually, Trenton Williams and Nash Moore too. Both kids that think like they're very, very smart. When you speak with them, you're like, oh, this kid's smart.
Sound in football and sound just overall. They're good, well-spoken kids and
no brain damage.
and they love coming on the show and that kind of stuff. So, real quick announcement. We can say the announcement, and we can't. There's certain things we got to wait on, but there's a coaching change that is happening here in Cochise County. Dominic Bonilla is going to be moving on from Tombstone to the Rio Rico High School in over in the Rio Rico area, which is between Sarita and Nogales. So we'll talk to him possibly in the next few weeks, and look forward to seeing the young man come on and share some things, and just excited for him and the opportunity.
He was your offensive coordinator, wasn't he?
Yeah, we worked together. Well, we could say I eventually turned the reins over like mid-season, like probably game 3. I was like, okay, you're good to go. You know what's going on. Here you go. And I just kind of stepped back, and if I needed to chime in something, I was just taking care of the line stuff. So as long as the line was doing their stuff, our skill players could do their thing. And we had some amazing fun games that year. So looking forward to seeing some growth with a young, talented coach like him, and to see him being able to expand and get an opportunity like that. So we'll talk more about that
we're
in the coming weeks.
Those incremental steps. And you want him to stay.
He's done a great job with turning Tombstone around, getting Tombstone fired up, and I'm sure we can keep the intensity and the everything going there with whoever comes in, whoever they're going to use to replace him. But it's hard to replace sometimes head coaches that have such drive. So
and they're local, and they have a passion for the team. Like he knows, he comes to some of the games at Buena. We see him around town.
See him over at the Marine games.
He's very Marine, exactly. We've seen him at a lot of those games. Yeah, they're like, the coaches around town are so supportive of each other, and they don't go in there like, oh well, we're scouting them out, or they come to watch the kids because I went to that Benson game last night. I'm like, oh shoot, this is some good basketball. Yeah. Like watching that, and you end up like scouting a couple kids out, and you're like, shoot, that's a kid that we could use in our program, or that's a kid we got to watch out for. But stuff like that. Blessings to Coach Bonilla, and we expect a lot of those steps being taken to move on to the next level and beyond. So very cool. Who else are we going to talk about? Okay, so we've done high school so far, college, that's all done. Notre Dame did not succeed against Ohio State. There's 2 games left. Now, the Washington Commanders versus Lions was one of the most amazing games, as far as like, nobody expected the Washington to win that game. I don't think anybody picked that. I was looking through everything, and I'm like, shoot.
Not even us.
Yeah, neither of us did. Usually I'll take.
The Commanders are on a run.
Yeah,
obviously, and it's going to be very hard to stop them. Now, the Eagles, yes, they are tough. Yes, they have the best running back in the NFL right now.
They also have the best defense left in the NFL. I think out of the Eagles, Commanders, Chiefs, and Bills,
their rush defense is better.
They've got the linebackers. They've got the 2 defensive rookies of the year, the DeJean and Mitchell.
Oh, yeah.
And then they've got possibly the defensive player of the year, the middle linebacker, Braun, I believe is his name. Zach Bond.
Bond, there you go. Yeah, I knew it was a weird last name.
Yeah, and then so very, very stout defense, good players from top to bottom. And then they've got then you're going against the Commanders, who have kind of like a bunch of no names on their defense. I mean, you'll name a player or two, but they're playing above what you'd expect from them. I'm expecting a lot more out of the Eagles. So Vegas
believes, the pick from Vegas?
It's 6 points for the Eagles. So nobody's giving the Commanders a chance again. And if you're comparing quarterbacks, you might take Jaden Daniels over Hurts, because he is the better thrower. He, as a rookie, this kid is
is not afraid to run.
Not afraid to run. Yeah, that's the thing, is like a lot of these
quarterbacks
can run, but he's a, like you're saying, a real dual threat.
Oh, yeah.
He's a better thrower of the ball than Hurts.
Yes,
I think
I believe
he
that
throws
right now
the
too.
ball as well as both Mahomes and Allen. Like, very strong arm. That kid is wiry, so he's fun to watch. So who are you taking, Eagles versus Commanders?
I hate that I'm going to try and go for the underdog because they beat my team the first round, but
yeah,
I'm going with the Commanders. They're hot right now.
Gosh, I am right there with you.
I know it's hard to go against Saquon because he's hot right now too, and he can do big things. But if you shut down Hurts and make him one-dimensional and have to force him to pass,
dude,
I know he has
Brown.
He has that kid. No, and then he's got that other kid that won the Heisman from Alabama. Can't remember his name right now.
Oh, Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah, Devontae Smith.
Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
So, Devontae Smith and
you haven't heard much about him this year.
No, he's been battling some injuries.
Yeah.
And the kid came into the league at 160 pounds.
I know.
He's wringing wet. 160. He needs to be Get in the weight room, as they weight room, as they
6
say.
feet tall.
He's not very big,
No,
so
but
I would be building
real
myself
thin.
up like a Wes Welker or the guys that the Julian Edelmans that were the slot receiver, because I think he's been playing a lot of slot. Get yourself beefed up.
Yeah.
You're still going to have your speed. Your speed won't go away if you do what you're supposed to to keep your speed. Just put on some muscle. I put about 20 pounds on. I really would.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I'd like to see with him.
Nice to see hulked up
Yeah,
Devontae Smith.
Yeah, come back and just walking out there like, whoa, who's this guy? Is it a new running back? No.
Who's the new fullback?
Devontae Smith. Oh, okay. No. So, I'd like to see a good game. It's going to be close.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see what happens. The weather's...
It's in Philadelphia.
The weather's going to be...
Philadelphia's been to the Super Bowl before.
Not a factor because Washington plays outside.
Yeah,
They're playing the cold all the time.
Okay, so you took the Commanders.
Yep.
I'm taking the Eagles.
Okay.
But, it's...
Barely, right?
Yeah, it's like a razor-thin margin for me. I honestly, I'd flip the coin, and I would prefer to take the Commanders. But if in my head, that defense is just... It's built in so many ways that are like everything is strong, every level, defensive line, middle linebacker, outside linebacker, and all the corners. They're all great. On to the Chiefs versus Bills, my team.
Everybody in America right now cheering for blue, red, and white. Patriotic colors.
Yes,
they're going for.
God bless them.
They're going for the team up from Orchard Park, New York.
Yeah.
Those guys are chomping at the bit. They've been here before a couple years ago at this game. I know it's going to be an Arrowhead, and Arrowhead is rowdy, it's loud, it's cold.
It's tough.
It is a very harsh environment to play in, but I think Josh Allen's ready to go. I think Josh Allen's just riding this big curtail of his performance alone as a player the last 6 games. He's like
put the team on his shoulders.
And it should, as he should, but everybody's getting healthy right at the right time too.
He looks like the MVP to me.
Easily, he could be an MVP if they had like an AFC, NFC MVP.
Yeah.
I would say definitely Josh Allen has the stats to prove it. Then you got Patty,
Mr. Mahomes.
Mr. Patty Mahomes is just the thing that guy does. He's the modern day. It's a hybrid between Brady and
I think of him as Brett
Favre.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I knew you and I were in the same wavelength because
Brett Favre
like
play.
that lunging forward throw last week where he threw the touchdown and as he was falling and being tackled.
You know what you're supposed to do with the ball, and when you're in that situation. You're supposed to put both arms on it and, hey, good morning. And Gerald, thank you. Oh, yeah, heck yeah. Mr. Logan Seeley. What you're supposed to do when you're falling down with the ball is you put both arms on it and you just tuck it. Mahomes goes out there and just throws the ball about 20 yards down the field.
I'm 6'5", 240. I'm going to show it. Boom. And
he does have a cannon for an arm, and he throws at weird arm angles. If he was standing upright and he was throwing that ball, that meant he was throwing it directly over his head. So when he was going vertical, leaning forward, he was using all of that strength from behind his head to throw the ball. It's incredible what he does.
Yeah. But I'm pulling for a beautiful upset.
Dude, so
it's a very close spread,
Vegas,
I'm sure.
Super close. Anytime the spread is under 3 points, so that's nearly a tie game. Like that means Vegas doesn't know what to do, and it's 2 points here. And home field advantage, they say this throughout the playoffs is worth about 1.5 points.
Wow.
So they're only giving the 1.5 points to the Chiefs, and then a 0.5 on top of that. I mean, I'm clearly taking the Chiefs. I think their defense is better. You've got players at every position. Not all of them are fantastic or great. You've got McDuffie at the upper level. You've got Bolton, Chenal, and the other linebacker, Tranquil. Stacked at linebacker, great defensive line. I think they're going to take it. And I honestly think that as much as I think it's going to be a close game, I think the Chiefs are probably going to win by about 8 points at the very end. I'm hoping for a close game. I hope not too close. I want the Chiefs to win, but if we're being honest about these things, I think that the Chiefs are the best team left, top to bottom, offense and defense, and coaching and special teams. That's the other thing. Special teams. People ignore special teams. Butker has a knee injury, which is scary, man. Like when your Hall of Fame kicker, just like Tucker, starts missing kicks, which he hasn't done. He's been hitting kicks with all of it throughout the injuries. You have to be very careful. We've only got a few minutes left. We got to be out by.
So we just got a breaking news from the tournament. All the championship rounds, everybody lost.
No.
In the championship round. So
what?
Hey, there's no, as Coach Keogh said, and this is just a wrestling terminology. There's no fish in this tournament.
Yeah.
And what we mean by that is there's just not any of those flopping little tiny wrestlers that just do something,
just lay on their back and they're just trying to kick out the entire time.
Flopping like a fish. So they're very tough opponents, and so they're going to be a lot of third places and fourth places tonight. So we're still going to cover all of that
at the biggest tournament.
One of the biggest tournaments in Tucson.
It's pretty darn.
Next week is going to be the biggest one. They'll probably have.
That's right.
9 Flowing Wells Invitational. They use 3 gyms, and it's usually 90 teams.
Dude,
it's ridiculous. But anyway,
I can smell the sweat from
all
here.
of our guys are still going to be competitive and fight, and we'll do what they got to do to get their medal this evening. So we'll be going live for them and show them some love as we continue to cover Buena Wrestling this season. And for anybody that has not really an idea about wrestling or has somewhat and has liked the game of wrestling, the sport of wrestling. There's an incredible movie on Prime Video right now, Amazon Prime, that you can watch for free if you have Prime. It's called Unstoppable, and it's about a young man, Anthony Robles, who has had an incredible lifetime story of overcoming adversity. He was born with one leg.
And he's a wrestler.
Yeah, and just took it and ran with it when his mom got him into it. And I think he was 6 when he hit the mat, and he just never looked back. Incredible movie. It's a good, heartwarming family movie to watch. I watched it last night.
Oh, dude.
Big tearjerker.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And for me, it's even more special because I had the privilege of coaching against that young man in high school.
No kidding.
Yeah, it was a brief 35, 45 second match. So it was a match at the state championship. He was a junior, still undefeated at that time.
Unreal.
Through his entire high school career. He came out and just took our kid to the woodshed, as they would say. Took our wrestler, and our wrestler was just dominated over, just like that. It was done. And he came over and shook my hand and made me crumble because of his grip. I mean, but the kid overall was such a humbled young man. Even after he made it up to he passed up a full ride to Drexel. I don't want to ruin the whole story for you in the movie, but you'll find out if you haven't seen this kid, you need to watch his incredible story and see what he's going to be able to do in the next probably 20 years. He's going to be one of the top motivational speakers in the world, not just the country.
We'll see him everywhere.
Yeah, he's already had an ESPY. He won the Jimmy V Award on ESPN after his big performance with Arizona State. And, he continues to coach. He doesn't let up. He's still doing a lot and he's a big adversary for the sport of wrestling and does whatever he needs to keep kids motivated. And people write him day by day. I'm sure he has a team that has to read all his inspirational messages and emails that get sent to him. So Unstoppable.
Yep. Check that
sorry,
out.
a little bit of plug there for Amazon Prime, but that's a great thing to get you understanding a little bit more about wrestling and what you got to do. And
an Arizona kid.
Yeah. Mesa High School. Go Jackrabbits.
Got to be proud of
Jackrabbits in Mesa.
Well, so we're closing in on the end of the show. We'd like to thank Ed Morse for continually sponsoring our show. We're getting more and more sponsorships as we go.
Yeah.
We've got some really great stuff in the tube coming up. Thank you, Jared. Thank you to Cool FM. Thank you to Todd. My name is John Berger. What's your last statement? What are we going out on?
Well, it's going to be an incredible AFC NFC championship tomorrow. Excited to see what our boys are going to do on the field. I know you're pulling for the Chiefs out of Arrowhead, and I want to see Buffalo come out of there as victors. But, I want to see a good, solid Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Heading into the New Orleans Superdome.
I feel like this is the Super Bowl. These are the two best teams.
I know, it is.
So, this is the game.
It almost really is. I wish that they would do the same thing that they're doing with college football and flip everything.
Everybody playoff.
And AFC, NFC plays each other in the playoffs.
That would be insane.
And that would be just
insane.
Roger Goodell, take notes. So, but go ahead. Whatever you're finishing touches are, John. I'm looking forward to an exciting evening up in Tucson at South Point High School to finish off the afternoon and evening for these wonderful wrestlers that are putting in all the hard work to get what they need to do to get their medal into a medal round. And we'll be covering them live from the gym.
We'll see you there in a little bit.
Yeah, see you guys in a few hours. And you stay classy, Sierra Vista.